Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Plaid Couch Reading Reddit Stories. I'm Jaylene. I'm joined with Tegan and Matthew. Today we picked some stories from the Bad Roommates subreddit, and I'm going to go ahead and just start us off here. So, first Bad Roommates post that I found was, "Roommate watered all my plants without asking." I know the title sounds stupid, but I've been annoyed with my roommate for a little while now over a few things. Anywho, she decided to, for some reason, water all my plants, over 15, together by putting them in the shower. I've never once asked her to water any of my plants ever. I take good care of my plants. Anyway, the other day she texted me saying that she watered all my plants for me. I just watered them the other day, and not to mention, I checked them all with a moisture meter stick to make sure they need water. She also had my fucking infected plant in the shower, watered with the rest, and touching my healthy plants. I've had some of these plants for years. One is named after my grandma that I got when she passed. I would be so sad if anything happened to it. She watered my snake plant in my room and left it in the pot that doesn't have any drainage holes. If she texted me, I would have had no idea. If she hadn't texted me, I would have no idea that that plant would likely die within a week, as it was sitting in a few inches of water. It's been a day, and some of my plants already look worse. This is one of the many things she's done that makes me want to kick her out. My text back was super nice because I thought, well, she didn't mean any harm and thought she was helping. But then I saw she took pictures of all my plants and posted them on social media saying, "feeding time," and now I feel like she just wanted to post a cool pic showing off my plants and potentially killed/hurting them. I'm so upset. Living with her is ruining our friendship.
Why you gotta put the plants in the tub?
I'm wondering if she put them in the tub or in the shower and had a watering can, or put them in the shower and then turn the shower on.
I'm thinking she
option
turned the
two.
shower
Okay,
on.
that's what I thought, but I'm like, well, maybe she just did that so
Take
the
out the
floor
middleman.
wouldn't get wet. But I thought that was odd. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for this poor girl. I know friends who get attached to their plants and really take pride in them.
Yeah, I've been watering that for the past month.
We're in 4K, right? They can tell that that's fake.
Almost had me going there for a second, Tegan.
But yeah, what a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, again, I'm on the side right now. I don't think there was bad intentions watering the plant, but then having those pictures on social media, trying to get likes or whatever the cool kids do.
Well, you're just overstepping boundaries.
Yeah.
It's it'd be the same thing if your roommate has a cat and it's oh, I fed the cat. And it's well, now you're overfeeding my cat. Mm-hmm. So it seems like this girl knows how to take care of her plants. They're healthy. Why does she feel she needs to interfere? Unless it is just to post a cool photo. Yeah. So I don't know. I would be very annoyed. And you know me, I would be petty and I wouldn't let it go.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the other things this roommate has done.
It sounds like there's been a lot of friction up to this point.
And I'm wondering what those incidents are. If they're all kind of around this, where it's you can kind of see good intentions somewhere in there. But yeah, sometimes it's better just stay friends than be roommates.
Yeah, just cut your losses and being hey, this is not working out. Yeah.
I just don't understand the whole tub thing.
Matthew's not even paying attention. He is just baffled about the shower.
They're in pots. You don't... doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
Zero.
No, she's cutting out the middleman. Take all the pots there. One-stop shop.
Yeah, but if you have 15 plants, I feel like that's going to take longer.
Depends. How big are these plants? Because some people have those giant...
We need all the details, and we need a corkboard and some red yarn right now.
There's a conspiracy here somewhere.
Yeah, something isn't adding up.
I mean, if it's just a bunch of little plants, then, yeah, stick them in the tub.
That's true, yeah. But if it's a big plant, though, then you have to take the watering can over twice.
Got a point. Yeah, just water all your plants in the shower.
Just leave the watering to the person who owns the plants.
Just get fake plants.
That's
my 2 cents.
Yeah.
The final straw. We are kicking our roommate out. We hit our final straw and have decided to kick out our roommate. She has never once cleaned in the 6 months she's been here. We have had several conversations about cleanliness. She's even walked in on us doing chores and acts dumb. Hasn't once taken out the trash and doesn't clean the litter. Me and the other roommate went on vacation for the holidays, so she was home alone for about a week. He took his cat with him, so she was here with her 2 cats. It was clear when my other roommate got back that she did not lift a single finger. It just got worse. The litter boxes were vile. Her cats resorted to using one of the big plants to poop on, which happens to be in the kitchen. The sink was full of her dishes. I got back from vacation 3 to 4 days after my other roommate, and we agreed it was time. This is my first experience having to kick out a roommate. What should we do?
Just be blunt about it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be an asshole, but, like, that's when you just need to tell them, like, you need to get out. Yeah. This isn't working.
I've never had to kick out any of my roommates, but I have had a very messy roommate. At one point in college, there was a time where we had a very clean roommate, me who's somewhat clean, your brother guy who's a little lower than me, and then this other roommate was a mess. We'd come home with the stove on, all of his dishes out, just sitting there. He'd leave all of his stuff in the living room area, and it was just the worst time because then he and our very clean roommate would always argue and butt heads, and it was not a good living situation for any of us there. But have you guys ever had to kick a roommate out?
You baiting me with this question?
No.
I didn't have to. I very nicely asked my roommate to get lost. And, I was running from family, so we didn't have a lease. So I was like, please move out. And luckily, like, it all kind of worked out in the end. I'm really anxious talking about this. But, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out, and you just kind of have to cut your losses and being like, luckily mine wasn't, like, because of, dirty living conditions, thank goodness. But, you just have to realize I can't live like this, and you kind of have to just be like, it sucks, but you need to do it, and you'll be happy when you can go back to being peaceful in your own home. Yeah. So, and I've had roommates, my brother, who is not the cleanest person, but like it's never been foul in our house. Like, and I will say he's more of just like stuff, like he'll leave wrappers and stuff out, but it's normally contained to his bedroom, at least when I lived with him. So it's like
he finds an area.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, guests are coming over, like just shut the door.
That, or he has a section on the table where all this stuff is, and then he just
he had the one end table in our living room that would be cluttered with cans and like chip bags. So it's like, oh, we're having people over, I guess I'll clean the one table off. So, but I've never, and I hate seeing stuff like when people have animals, especially cats, because it's like, it does not take long. I have 2 cats and I have 3 litter boxes. It does not take long for those to get nasty.
Yeah.
Like I try and be really good about like every other day scooping them. And the cats are going to go regardless if they have a place to go or not. So the poor cats, I feel bad for the cats.
Yeah.
So.
If you're going to have cats, you got to clean up after them.
Yeah.
Like you said, that litter box can get full in a blink of...
Yeah, like it's 2 days and like mine's full.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not willing to stay on top of it, don't get cats. Mm-hmm. Like they shouldn't be punished for that because you don't have a nice clean spot for them to do their business.
Yeah. And this conversation, just rip the Band-Aid off. Tell them it's not working out. And give them an end date to find a new place.
Yeah. So, and I don't know like what their landlord situation is, but if like the cats are like ruining the place, or like it's ruining like the the apartment itself or the house or whatever it is, and like there's a lease, a lot of times the landlord can get involved too and like help get them out the door if it's a lease issue. So I would also suggest contacting a landlord, and then that would help get like your security deposit and stuff back and being like, hey, this person trashed the apartment, we want to get them out. So because I could see where that would be an issue, like, oh, we're all on a lease together. It sounds like this isn't the case here. But just in case anybody else is going through something similar.
No, I know a lot of apartments now are doing like a month-by-month lease. And then they also have the 6-month, 12-month leases. So as soon as they can get the roommate out and find another one, I think that's best for all parties involved.
Yeah. Somebody take those poor cats. I'm worried about the cats.
So I've never had to kick out a roommate. I think I've only had like 2 roommates, and one of them being her brother, and then another one of our good friends. But I've never had any issues with any of them. But I did have people that I knew from high school text me, like acting like, oh, we should catch up and all that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. And then they're like, well, I got kicked out of my apartment. And I'm like, okay,
no,
I'm going to stop you right there. And I just don't respond after that because some of those people I hung out a lot with in high school, and I don't need that in my adult life right now. So that is my experience as far as bad roommates.
We're very fortunate in our lives. We're at that point in our lives now where we don't need roommates because we've all been through it, and it's like, it's fine. I don't think any of our experiences have been traumatic, but like, I'm happy living alone.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
No, I got my one roommate, Gizmo, and that's all I need.
Hi all. I've posted here before, but this is a different roommate. Let's call him Ryan, 22 male, has lived with myself, 22 female, and 4 other girls for the past couple years. He's a genuine guy, and living with him has been no problem. He's generally tidy in common areas and will help out around the house when asked. His room is notoriously known for being the messiest in the house, but it was never a cause for concern because it's his space and he's considerate in common places. Lately, we've noticed a rancid smell coming from his room. Whenever he opens the door, bad enough we can smell it from another person's bedroom. We've also noticed we're out of forks completely. We've narrowed the suspect down to Ryan harboring dirty dishes in his room, a habit we've all picked up when we don't feel like washing our dishes right away. We went into his room while he was away to investigate. I know invasion of privacy. Probably shouldn't have done this. And notice his room was bad, like hoarding level bad. He has a pile of beer cans up to our knees, moldy dishes, and the smell is so pungent we couldn't stay in there. I won't share pictures to maintain his privacy, but by most people's standards, it would be unlivable. We are genuinely concerned about his mental health, and we want to help, but we want to do it in a way that will be helpful and not accusatory. Does anyone have any advice on how to approach this? Thank you in advance.
Yeah, they need to sit down with this guy, talk to him. And not just this story, but I always love when in Reddit stories they're like, we'll call this person Ryan. I wonder if that's just his actual name. It's like, to keep his anonymousness, we'll call him Ryan.
I had the exact same thought, and I don't know what it was with this story that triggered me, but I'm like, I wonder if his name's actually Ryan. But
if you ever see a Plaid couch Reddit, it's like, we'll call this guy Tegan.
Just a random generic name.
No, Tegan.
Could be anyone.
Yeah, that's really bad. I will say, as far as like them feeling they invaded his privacy, if you have a rancid smell coming from somewhere you're living, I think at that point you have a right to investigate because it's gonna affect the other people living there. It's not like it was like, oh my God, look at this clutter, let's go sort through it. It's like there is a smell. There's moldy dishes. We're out of forks. Like,
Yeah.
that is room, like, that's level of concern where it's like, all right, like, you need to go in. And it sounds like they want to do this, like, in a very friendly, like,
Yeah.
non-confronting way. So it's
Just-
not like they're trying to, like, you know, be assholes about it. But, they're worried about at the end of the day, they're worried about their safety, and I'm sure their friends' safety, because, like, that's not a healthy living environment.
I will say, as far as being confrontatory about it, it seems like this guy, he generally seems like a good guy. He might be dealing with something, you know, mentally. And I know from experience, when you're in the dumps, it's hard to do just the simplest stuff sometimes. So I don't know if they'll ever see this, but and even to, you know, our people watching right now, but if you ever have this situation happen, the best thing you can do is just help them out with it. Just say, hey, we know this mess, you know, we'll take care of some of it, but we'd like you to clean it up. And that's honestly the best way to go about it. You know, you don't want to go in there, you know, balls to the wall screaming, you know, why is it so dirty in here? Because you don't know what that person's going through. Just give them a little help if you ever have any, you know, issues with something like that.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of it's usually like a mental thing. So I'm sure it's not just he's lazy. I'm sure there's something going on in his brain.
And that is all I have for this episode of Plaid Couch. Thank you guys for joining us, and we can't wait to post the next video for you. See ya.
Subscribe. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
I'm gonna take one.